All right, I think everyone's starting to wind down for dinner, so we can pay attention to that. Again, like I said, I can try to introduce Scelta, but I won't do it any justice. So I'll let David Mill, the owner of Scelta, come up and tell you who he is and what he's all about. I will preface that you guys are probably going to get a lot of information. There might be some blank looks on your face. This is your guy. He will answer the questions. You'll have time to ask questions and get an answer. If that doesn't work, you'll get a business card and you can email him or call him. So thank you, and David.
Sweet. Thanks, brother. Hello, everyone. Just want to quickly thank Keith and Dan for having me. Legends, super big supporters of Scelta. I appreciate that. Thank you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is David Mill. I'm with the Scelta team here. And tonight I'm going to talk to you guys about AI. AI for contractors. So a little bit about us, real quick. Scelta has been around for about 3 years. I started as a construction project coordinator, saw the need for technology, started building a few tools, and just to fast forward to today, we've helped about 2,000 contractors onboard onto technology, so we have quite a bit of experience. And the big X factor for us is the whole idea of boots on the ground. So you'll see us on job sites, you'll see us in the back of the pickup trucks, literally explaining, showing how the technology works. Now, like a lot of the larger companies who you never might meet, you just download it online, you do it yourself, you might call a 1-800 number. So our whole idea is boots on the ground, where the work actually happens, explaining the technology. So I'm just going to start with a question, and there's a few prizes involved in this question, but quick hands of who here has used ChatGPT? So nearly everyone, which is awesome. Yeah. Most friendly AI tool, probably the most popular, but I'm going to ask you another follow-up question, and those of you who get it right are going to grab a bag of Dial-In Espresso, which is our company's own brand of espresso beans flown in from Brazil, roasted in London, bagged here, and it's our physical business card. So, we'll get ready. There's 3 to win. So, does anybody here know what GPT stands for? Okay. Let's just start with the G. Any guesses? Close. What did you say, sir? It's very, very close. I'm going to give you one. Generative, okay. He's got generative. Generative was very close, so you guys, anybody got the P? Yeah, hold on. I'll give you a second. T? Close? Okay, you can't guess. Pre-trained. T? Keith with the transformer. Okay, you two gentlemen. Oh, transformer, yes. Okay, 3 bags for you guys. I will make sure that you can grab them now or I can give them to you guys afterwards. Well done. Okay, so generative, pre-trained, transformer. So what does that even mean, right? So generative basically means it creates new things. It's generating something for you. It's generating an answer, it's generating a PDF, it's generating a funny image if you ask it to, and it's pre-trained on millions and millions of data points. So what does that really mean? Well, imagine you were able to read 1 million books, right, and visit 1 million websites. You'd probably be pretty smart and know a lot of answers. Well, that's exactly what AI is. It's pre-trained on all that information. And then the T stands for transformer. So it has to transform it into an end product, right? If it's an image, if it's a document, if it's an Excel spreadsheet, if it's an answer. So generative, it'll generate something. Pre-train, it'll train on something, it'll pull that word that it pulled from, and it'll transform it into a final response. So every AI you guys use is a GPT. ChatGPT just decided to put it in their name. So just a little fun fact for you guys. Now, there's so many AIs out there, right? I'm sure you guys know quite a few. Here's a bunch that we use. Some are for note-taking, some are for image generation, some are just for math, some are for speaking and dictating. But how do you choose the right AI? You guys are probably wondering, which AI should I use? So I always focus on 3 different metrics. First and foremost is safety. Because not to be cheesy, but with great power comes great responsibility. AI is very powerful, right? And it can do amazing things, but it can also do really detrimental things. If you give it the wrong information or you give it private information, that could be leaked, just big issues can happen. So first thing is always safety. Don't just download the first thing you see online. Usually those paid ads at the top are all sketchy ones. So just be cautious of that. Tend to stick with the big ones like your Claudes and your Geminis and your ChatGPTs and the one I'm going to show you today. And then the second is think about any document-heavy task that you guys have. So we're all contractors here. You all have documents they have to follow for a project. Any document-heavy task is perfect for AI because it's going to read through all that documentation way faster than any human being can in this room. And then lastly is repeated tasks. Think of any repeated tasks you guys do day to day. That's perfect for AI, right? Because there's the high-level thinking that you guys all do that AI can't do. But it can do things like, running payroll, or it can run estimates. It can run just the numbers, right? It can go through all those different calculations. It can read emails. It could build calendar invites, right? All those things that are just repetitive that you guys are doing, reading documents, it can do that for you. So 3 things. Make sure it's safe. If it's a large document task, that's a great task. If it's a repeated task, that's something that AI can do. But before I dive in, I'm going to tell you guys about NotebookLM, which is a free Google tool which everybody can use tonight. So has anybody here watched 50 First Dates? 50 First Dates? Yes? Yes? Okay, great movie, Adam Sandler. If you know the premise of the movie, Adam Sandler falls in love with this woman. She has memory loss through a car crash. So every single day he has to basically try and make this woman fall in love with him over and over and over again for 50 days. And you're probably wondering, why does this connect to AI? But that's very much what context is. And context is the most important piece of AI. AI needs to know what it is that you're trying to do, right? It's like going to AI every day and it has no idea who you are because it doesn't have context. That'd be pretty annoying trying to use AI from scratch every single day. So now I'm going to give it a bit of context. I'm going to show you guys a tool that's free called NotebookLM. So this looks pretty complex, but I'm going to show you how I started. I just started like this, right? Just Google NotebookLM. It's a free tool for all of you guys to use. You can upload up to 300 documents. And that's not 300 pages, that's 300 documents. That could be thousands of pages, right? I uploaded a project. So I took a random public project, 920 Ouellette. It's a 6-unit fit out for those of you who might know the project. I uploaded 49 documents for it, specs, drawing packages, schedules, manuals, all to this Google LM, right? So this is what it looked like when it was blank. You just drop your files here and it's going to do the rest. And what I'm doing is I'm giving it context. I want it to learn about this project. So then I put it into here. So what is this? This is a demo of Windsor-Essex unit conversions from addendum number 1. So as you can see on this left-hand side, I want you guys to look at this like 3 quadrants. So left-hand, we have drawings, we have specs, we have notes. These are all just PDFs. So if I were to click on one here, there's the detailed floor plans, right? That's what it's reading from. So there's a bit of a text bubble above the drawing. Why is that? Because what AI is doing is it's pulling all the textual context from the drawing and turning it into what's called markdown. Now, markdown is just a fancy word for words. It's just words from the drawing so the AI can understand what the drawing is, right? And that's just one of 50. So then let's just hop over here to the center. So the center is your AI, right? Now, what's the difference between this and your standard ChatGPT? Well, this center, it only knows about your project. So it's not going to answer random questions. If you ask about a different project, it's not going to know what that project is. All this is trained on are those 50 project documents, right? So I got started and I asked a few questions. So it'll always give you a summary and it'll give you a few example questions. But I could say, for example, here, what different trades are required on this project? I just put that in. So what it's doing right now is it's scanning all the text. So it's looking at the scope, it's looking at all the different documents, and it's going to pull all the different trade types that are on this project. Now I know there's a lot of electricians in the room, so I purposely created an electrical scope from this project, right? So let's say you're an electrician, you just got a large bid set, and you have to bid it for, say, electric construction. You're going to have to take some time, you're going to look through the documents, you're going to go through the electrical scope, you're going to come up with exactly what you need to do for the project. But the cool part is with AI here, it's going to tell you everything that's inside the document for you. Now you're probably thinking like, that could be wrong, right? And that could screw me over. You want to make it a little bigger? Sorry about that, yeah? Everyone see that? Okay, no problem. So you're probably wondering, Dave, where's this coming from? This could probably be wrong, right? But let me just go to the bottom. These are all little numbers. You'll notice there's all these little numbers next to the answers. So those numbers, for those of you guys who remember writing essays, remember you had to source your documents. That's the same thing that AI is doing. It's just sourcing the answers. So if I hover over this little number, that's going to tell me exactly where it's pulling it from in the document. Now, if I still don't believe it, let's say, okay, fiberglass insulation. I'll click number 12. It'll take me to the exact spot in the drawings where it pulled that information from in seconds, right? So think about yourself, right? It's 49 documents. That's an average of 10 pages a document. You're 490 pages. You're sitting there. You know, how many of us can flip through 490 pages to find that answer, right? It would take us all quite a bit of time, right? But if you had this with you right next to you, you can read through it pretty quick. But let's challenge it a little bit more. Let's say I'm an electrical contractor, so I only need the electrical scope. Just put it in. So now it's just going to pull everything that's electrical related, right? So no insulation, no drywall. And while that's doing that, I'm just going to go through the sources with you real quick. Not only can you upload documents about the project, but I can also train it on websites. So for example, building codes, safety codes, ESA, whatever might be the green book that you have to follow. I can also upload those so it has further context into the rules and regulations that I need to follow as a contractor. So to give you an example, I uploaded the Ontario Building Code, just whatever available web link was there, so that it's also considering the building code when it's giving me its answers. So I'm giving it more context. So there you go. There's the electrical scope here. Power panels, circuit distribution. So again, if you're not quite sure what do they mean by common areas, just again click it and it'll take you to the exact spot where the common area spec is. Now let's say you like this and you want to save this. There's this little button down here that says save to note. So what that's going to do is it's going to save the answer in a note. And that note's going to pop up right here, which I'm going to get to shortly. But then what's cool is it's going to give you 3 more suggested questions based on your question. Because the AI is now it's starting to get to know you, now it's starting to get to know what you're trying to ask. So it's going to give you some follow-up questions. And the cool thing is too, is you can give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, say that answer was right, that answer was wrong, because you're giving it feedback, you're giving it more context. So I'm going to say that answer was right. So let's say it was wrong, for example. It's going to ask you for feedback. So if there's something specific that said, you thought that pot light or that in the legend was a receptacle, or I'm giving you a specific example. You could train it and be like, that was actually a receptacle, and I need you to read it right the next time. Right? So you're continually training it, so it just gets to know you better in your process. Now, I just want a disclaimer for drawing reading. It's not perfect for reading drawings. And many of you guys who have tried it, upload a drawing, try to get a takeoff, not the most accurate. So I just want to preface with that, not to 100% rely on this for drawings. It's probably about 70 to 80% of the way there. It can definitely get you started, but it's not 100%. So just so you guys are aware of that. Now, this is where it takes it a step further, and it kind of gets to this, what they call a studio. So this looks like, audio overview, slide decks. I'll just kind of zoom in on the top here. So you got audio overview, you got slide deck, video overview, mind map, reports, flashcard, quizzes. You're probably thinking like, why do I need a quiz, right? I'm doing a construction project. Because funny enough, NotebookLM actually started out as an educational tool. And their whole mission statement was understand everything and anything. So the whole idea was to download multiple textbooks and curriculums for schools so that students would learn faster. But little did they know, it was, another business that's very document heavy is construction. So it became a very valuable construction tool, and it's free. It's incredible. So I'll give you guys an example. What is an audio overview? Why the heck would I need an audio overview? Well, what it's going to do is it's actually going to generate you a podcast about the project, which is kind of wild, but I'll show you what that is. So here it is here.
If you want to renovate an apartment in a 1970s high-rise, you might think your biggest hurdle is just managing the budget.
Right, or picking out the right cabinet hardware or something.
Exactly. But we have this massive stack of construction documents for a 2026 project at 920 Ouellette Avenue. And it reveals a much darker reality.
Oh, absolutely. It's wild.
So that's 2 people talking about your project that are AI. Now, it's crazy. So let's say you're driving in your truck, you want to brief yourself on the project, you're going to the job site, you can start to just listen to your projects. It's something that I'll do quite frequently before I go to a client meeting, is I'll listen to the AI train me about that company. So I know the little nuances about that person, I can talk about it with them, it's incredible. Then you can take it a step further and say, you know what, I want a video, I want visuals.
Buddy, thanks for coming in. Let's get right to it. This is our project briefing for the unit renovations over at 920 Ouellette Avenue. The whole point of this is to make sure we're all on the same page so we can hit the ground running. So here's what we're going to cover today. We'll start with the big picture, then go over some absolutely critical site rules. After that, we'll break
So
down
it's
the work.
literally going to go project overview, crucial site rules, demolition.
Then we'll wrap it all up.
So in
and talk
5
about
minutes,
how
you
we
can be
get
briefed on this
started
entire project.
smoothly. Okay, so let's dive right in. What are we actually here to do? What's the mission? At its heart, this project is a complete gut and renovation of 6. That's right, 6 individual resident rate drawing packages for each of these specific units. Notice, and you can only use it in these tight windows. It's all about minimizing disruption for the tenants. Critically, keep the hallways totally clear. No staging materials out there. And at the end,
You guys get the idea. So you'll be pretty well briefed on the project. Now imagine you were pitching this to a client, right? So I use this a lot for sales as well. So I don't want to get too down a rabbit hole, but I like to create videos for the client, right? So I just met with them. We're just looking at drawings. We're just looking at a project, and I'll throw those drawings in. I'll throw a bit of context in. I'll say, create me a cool client explainer video. Because the cool thing is you can actually prompt it to make your own video. Do you want it to be cinematic? Do you want it to be an explainer video? Do you want it to be brief? You can develop your own prompt to customize whatever video, whatever podcast you want. And it'll create it for you. Might take 5 minutes, but it's worth it. So then that's not it, right? There's also what's called a mind map, which is just like an org chart. So I created a few for you guys here. So let me just quickly jump to the slide deck, actually, because that's kind of cool. So let me see if you guys can see this here. Let me move this down. You know what? I'm just going to download this. Okay, so we've got a slide deck. So this is my project playbook that was created for me for Windsor-Essex housing. So I didn't create this slide deck. So it gives me the scope. It gives me the objective, it gives me the exclusions, it gives me the timeline, it gives you the macro transformation, and these are pulling directly from the drawings, which is wild. It's screenshotting, pulling. It's giving me the materials, down to the actual swatch of the materials. So you guys get the idea. So it doesn't stop there. It can do more, believe it or not. So now I'm really zoomed in here. So project flashcards. I know this is kind of funny. You're thinking, like, why would I need to do flashcards? But I do this with contractor companies once in a while. A few of them sitting here is, if you're doing a project kickoff, it can't hurt to get your team in the same room and just specify what you want the flashcards to be about, and then just ask questions, right? So does anybody know which specific paint color? I believe it was eggshell. But there you go. And then it gets more complicated than that. It's not just paint colors, but according to addendum number 1, what is the required load bearing capacity for the kitchen plan metal L brackets? No idea, but at least 500 pounds. Right? And I say, okay, well, explain that to me. So then in the chat, it's going to explain where it took that from the drawings, where are the documents. Right? And now, let's say you get a new document, right? So I had a close contractor, a friend of ours, using this, and they got a long addendum, right, that came into the project. So they uploaded the initial documents, and then they said, oh, shoot, I got this long addendum, but I only need a small portion of it. So I'm just going to upload it to here. So they uploaded it to NotebookLM, and they said, I just uploaded a new document called addendum number 4, whatever it might be. What changed in comparison to the rest of the documents? And it'll give you the entire history of what changed in comparison to what already exists. Now, you can kind of do the math on how long that might take to figure out ourselves. So then this is what an org chart looks like. It's kind of a cool thing to put in your office if you're doing a big project, because it'll kind of give you the whole scope in this org chart view. I've seen teams do this for their own company org charts, large projects, if they want to know the scope. And you can just paste it up, whether it's in your site trailer or in your office, and it'll give you a breakdown of all the components of this project. That's another one. I believe I just had electrical. So I wanted to generate a slide deck just on the electrical. So I asked it, I just want electrical. I don't want the whole project. I just want to know the scope for the electrical. So here it is. Build me that, all the different units, which is, it built its own 3D model and showed me the different floors of the building. And then it gives me the time periods in which we can do the work and when the elevator is available. Electrical scope protocols, so a couple hazards to watch out for. Power distribution. Now the coolest part is it's generating all these visuals itself. So none of these are made by me or my team. These are all just generated with using AI. Now again, I just want to reiterate, this is a free tool. So okay. Does anybody want to challenge it and ask a question that they might ask about project? How much for the job? All right. How much value is the job? How much does this job cost? Be curious if it has actual numbers. You might have stumped it, but. But again, just to show you the differentiation between this and ChatGPT, is if you were to upload your drawings to Chat, have any of you guys ever tried uploading a whole project to ChatGPT, like drawings-wise? And it sucked. It's not great, right? It doesn't really come back with good answers. Well, the beauty of NotebookLM is that it's only trained on these docs. So you're never going to run out of a timeout window or token window. Like, you use certain docs and you upload many docs, you run out of tokens pretty fast. It says, like, upgrade to my pro plan right away. There is no pro plan. You're on the max plan all the time on this tool. So it looks like the exact cost is not documented because it's an RFP.
What does that mean?
Request for proposal.
What did you ask it to estimate?
To estimate?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good question. Can you please prepare me an estimate for the electrical scope of this project?
Based on 1% inflation.
Okay. Based on 1% inflation over how many months?
I'm serious.
Based after 6 months.
Based on the cost.
Okay. So it's going to generate this for you. Okay, so it's not allowing this, but
If you gave it the parameters, though.
yes.
Right.
So one thing you could do, which you're taking me to my next step, is now you could upload your budget template with somebody, maybe your cost codes or whatever you normally charge for some of these items. And then say, using this uploaded doc, can you then generate it for me? Right? Again, more context.
Can this AI create algorithms?
For,
Anything.
yeah. Yeah. It could probably create one for creating a new image or creating a...
I'm saying trying to find the best price per supplier of electrical equipment.
Well, if you were to upload all the different prices, so what I could do is, you ask an interesting question. So I could do a web search. So what it's going to do is it's going to look for different electrical suppliers. So if the prices are available online or you have some sort of database, you can actually connect it to that website and it could pull it from that website. If it's publicly available. I'm not sure if it is though.
Like, let's say you had an account wholesale.
Yeah.
And you want to sign out.
cannot access that information because the price to the public is different than what a contractor would get.
Right.
Through its login.
So it wouldn't be able to log in for you. I would just export that if it can export it to like an Excel file, and then upload that Excel file. Yeah, there's a different tool outside of this one, but that's probably your best bet. Now I'm always curious, which of these studio items do you find to be something that you'd actually use? Right? Like, would it be the slide deck? Would it be the audio overview? The video overview? The flashcards? Slide deck? Yeah, and you can create different types of slide deck. It could be a slide deck for your own team, just to brief them on the project. It could be a slide deck for your customer to impress them. Be like, this is how I understand your project to be, right? Yes, that's a good question too. So you can edit individual slides here by expanding it. But the only caveat to it is you have to prompt it, meaning you have to write a sentence of what you want to change. You can't edit it like a Canva or a PowerPoint. You got to give it a sentence and edit it. So that's inside here. Now, if you guys want to share this with your teams, right? The only caveat is you have to have a Google account, but you just hit this share button here. You just add their emails up top, just like any of us who've used Google Drive before, where you just kind of share with someone, you add their email in. I've opened this access to anyone just because it's a demo project I want to share with anyone, but I could restrict this access to only people that I invite. So one thing that I do with a lot of our contractor teams is we'll create QR codes that link to this, and then we'll put them up on job sites. So for the guys that are walking around that quickly want to ask a question, it just pops up like a chat bot on your phone, and you can just start asking questions. And then you can click on the little number next to the answer and find where that's actually pulling it from. So you always vet it and just make sure it's right. But I would just add their emails in. If you don't mind the documents being shared, like there's no confidential information, there's no numbers, there's no stuff that you wouldn't want to see, then you can just make it easy and set it to anyone with the link. Right? If it's just a general scope for all your different your teams on site, then you can just put it there. Anyone can scan it. Anyone can look at it. Now, they can't mess with the documents. That's another thing. Is by just scanning it, they only have access to the chat window. So they don't have the left and right side. They only get the center. Now, there are a couple caveats to this, because I don't want to make this seem like it's the best tool ever, even though it's a really good tool. But I'm going to go over really quick the limitations of it here. So tool boundary. So I had it create me this graphic. So it's a fun little graphic. It's probably hard to see, but. So the data constraints are its only uploaded sources. So it knows nothing about the web. It only knows what you give it. So that's first thing. Garbage in is garbage out. So if you give it bad documents, poorly scanned documents, it's not going to read it properly. Photocopy documents actually messes with AI quite a bit. That's something to just keep note of, is original PDFs, we get far more better response than if I've noticed photocopies. Sometimes the AI has a trouble reading it. It's called OCR, Object Character Recognition. And when it's a PNG, if it's an image, it has trouble reading the image more so than the original PDF. So that's a little tip on uploading.
So like a screenshot, it would struggle with?
If it's a clear screenshot, that's actually going to work. Yeah, it's more photocopying. Manual updates, so meaning it won't update itself. If you have to change a document, you have to change a document. If you have to go in and eliminate an old one, you're going to have to do it yourself. Because if you have an original and a new one, like let's say you have a new scope or whatever it might be, make sure to delete that old one, because it might still pull answers from that old document. So just be. Tell it to eliminate it? No, it's manual. Unfortunately, you have to click the button and delete. But I mean, Google listening to us right now might implement that in a month. But so one other caveat is there's no saved chat history, which kind of sucks about this one. It's only the chat you have at the moment. Now you can save a note on that little button that says save note, and it'll save the note, but it won't save all your chats like the traditional chatbots will, because it's just so much data to load. So it's one chat at a time. Just so you guys understand. If you go back to it and your chat's gone, it's because it's supposed to be. And then it's not a human replacement. At the end of the day, I'm showing everyone all these tools to just make everyone 3-4 times more efficient. It's not to replace people. It's just to use as tools so we can do our jobs faster. You can make them on time, make more money. Everyone's happy. It's not necessarily to replace anyone. It's just to augment the abilities of everyone that are using them. And the tool can make mistakes. AI can make mistakes, and it can make very confident mistakes. And that's the biggest psychological thing you got to get over is it will tell you an answer that sounds so right, and it'll tell it to you so confidently that it could be wrong. And then you say, you're wrong. It's like, oh, I am wrong, right? But just be cautious of how confident AIs are in the responses they give you. All right? So I'm just going to go back here real quick. Now, like I was saying, AI is not the future. It's happening right now, every day. A little bit of a fun fact for you guys. Can anybody guess the adoption rate of construction companies fully implemented AI across North America? Fully implemented. We're talking estimating, we're talking sales, we're talking... Yeah, you guys know the stat. It's less than 1%. So just being in here tonight, you're already ahead of 99% of companies that are even thinking about using AI. So just be cautious of that. You're not behind because nobody's really touching it right now. Construction naturally might be one of the last industries to adopt it. But for those of you guys who are in here tonight who start using it, you'll be leaps and bounds ahead of those who aren't. Because it's not AI will replace us, it's really just the teams that are using it will. And it all comes down to speed. It's just everyone's faster. You find the answer faster, you produce the estimate faster, you produce the schedule faster. It's all speed, right? At the end of the day. Yes?
So if your software can accept a set of specifications and a drawing, how quicker can that be done as opposed to another contractor? He's gonna look through every spec
Right.
and double check his work.
Right.
What can your software do?
The AI can get you 70% of the way there, right? So it can say probably about 70% of the way there. That's why I always recommend there still has to be a human in the loop. So it's not going to completely take over that job for that person.
It's not foolproof then.
No, it's not. Definitely not. Yeah. Well, we're always going to need that human to confirm it. It's just if you had an estimator doing it manually versus one that has one screen open with AI, they may look at things a lot faster than someone who's flipping through the pages, kind of idea.
So it will accept updated content or they make a change mid-term or whatever?
Yeah, you would delete the old one, replace it with the new one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think the idea is it's catching something you might miss.
Yeah.
Right? It is like it takes a bit of like a double look at it, right? That's what I think the value is.
Yeah. Even just that little project I showed you guys, 920 Ouellette. There's specific elevator times, right? That's maybe some of you guys think about, but I wouldn't normally think about is I can only use the elevator at certain times, or before I get on site, I need to notify this project manager that I'm going to arrive, or all those little details that we tend to miss as we're all human. It'll catch those things, right? Now, the last is you don't need to be technical to win with AI. I am, believe it or not, I'm not a software engineer at all. No software background. I studied Italian language and culture, believe it or not. But it's just about reps, right? How many reps are you putting in with AI? So my team and I probably put 10,000 hours in the last year just in learning AI. So it's really just about trying it, right? If you guys, go home tonight, you got a set of documents, you just want to upload and just play around with it and just try it. That's how you get started, right? Now, don't upload anything that you're uncomfortable uploading, no, specific documents, pricing, all that sort of thing. Just upload generic docs that you might be using on a project, give it a try, and just keep putting in reps. And keep trying it. And I'm going to go back to that tip. First thing, safety. Next thing is document-heavy tasks. And next thing is repetitive tasks. That's the best way to use AI, those three things. Safety first, right? It's kind of, the same thing with a construction site. But use the big tools, right? Try the Claudes, try the ChatGPTs, try the Gemini that I just showed you guys tonight. But if you find drawingreader.ai, advertisement, don't click on that. It probably won't work. You know what I mean? It's just, if you want to take it a step further, there's these websites called Trustpilot. You just type in Trustpilot, you type it in, It's real people reviewing different apps. Or if you want to message Scelta and be like, should I try this? We'd be happy to answer you guys. But safety first, because I hate giving people powerful tools and it goes wrong. So the best way, if you guys want to learn more about AI, is just to join this free community we built, just called AI for Contractors. So we meet every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock on Google Meet, and we go over AI tools. So exactly what we did tonight, we just pick a tool, we go over it, we answer questions, we demo it, and we have a community board. It's called School with a K, and it's basically just, we have 58 contractors in it so far. It's growing. It's only been around for 4 weeks, and it's sort of the best way to just get your feet wet. We're talking about AI every week. The last few weeks we covered sales, we covered ops, we covered project docs, we covered Claude, we covered ChatGPT, covered Gemini. So many of a few guys in the room have been a part of it. There's been some fun nights. It's just cool because you're all going through it together, right? There's different trades. There's some electricians, there's some plumbers, there's some carpenters, all in the same room, asking questions that you may already be thinking, right? So questions now. I'd love to open up the floor. And that's still the same QR code, so if you missed it on this last slide. Yes?
Can you go back to any of the AI for contractors? You guys video them while you're doing them, so if people want to go back to like topics you guys talked about to retrain themselves?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. Because not everyone can make it at 7 p.m. I know we all have families and lives outside of this. Last thing you might want to do, but we do film all of them and put them on YouTube. So they're all inside here. I'll just give you a quick example. Is the sound on?
Any questions so far?
Okay, there we go. So there's this tool being explained.
While it's generating, I'm going to go back here. So what you guys can do is organize your projects sort of in this list here.
So it's the same thing we did tonight. It's on camera, it's recorded, and you can ask questions. And this is what the community looks like. So it's just a job board. We just introduce ourselves. People ask questions. They post questions. There's a bit of a ranking system. I see Dan's on the podium. And yeah, it's really cool. So again, any more questions you guys have, got a few more minutes. I'd be happy to answer those for you. And for those of you guys who won the espresso bags, please grab them. You'll need a lot of espresso once you start using AI. Yes.
Okay, so NotebookLM, we get an addendum.
That's right.
Covers drawing E4. E4 is E4 is in a package. E1 to E12.
Yeah.
You go into the original, delete that E4, and re-upload it.
And re-upload the new E4. But I put in brackets, revised version. Just so you know that when you look back at it, that's the new one, and your team knows.
The original one would be the whole, like, one PDF would be 12 pages.
Yeah.
The addendum comes out, it's 1 page. If we upload the addendum, then we have to go into the original package and delete that one, or else it's going to get confusing.
Unfortunately, yes. Because it still needs to know about the other stuff in that document because it's only changing 1 page. But try uploading it with 2 and just do a test. Just upload the original and the revised version, just 2 docs, and just ask it a few questions that you know it might get wrong, and run your own test. But out of comfortability, I would go to PDF, unfortunately go to Adobe, remove page, add page.
Or would it be better to extract each PDF as a separate file and upload them individually, knowing that it's going to change?
Yes. Yeah. You know, it's funny, we had a contractor who, the one tool they wanted was a document parser. So they were having basically it parsed. So you upload, say, a 100-page drawing. They had us upload it and then basically take that 100-page drawing and turn it into 100 individual pages because their guys in the office were manually doing it. So now every time they upload drawings, it's called parsing, and it'll save each individual page with the name on it so they can do exactly what you're talking about. They're a masonry company. Yeah. So I can show you that tool if you want. Yeah. Yeah. Any more? And yeah, so reach out to us anytime if you guys want to join the community. We'll be back Tuesday. We're doing an in-person event on the 28th at our new office, which will be kind of cool. There's nothing inside of it so far. It'll just be foldable tables, but it'll be fun. It'll be food, espresso. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go over tools, explain them, bring your laptops. So actually, if you want to bring your iPads, bring your laptops. We'll have a few team members walking around just showing you guys, setting it up for you. And I think it'll be fun. So appreciate all you guys being here. Thank you.